Yo, my people, it's your boy Trist Taylor, branding go-to, marketing go-to, and an absolute sales expert. And this is my episode of the CEO of You podcast now. So when I understood that, okay, cool, I can make £500,000 a year in this office, no problem. Just change this number, move out this area, I'm done. Like I was living in just an absolute shithole. I left home quite young. I left home at 18. Now next thing, I'm chilling on the block, I'm smoking weed, we're doing nonsense because but at that stage, I was in block mode, like, because I got kicked out of my mum's house. So now I'm just
Why
like,
did you get kicked out?
Bloody hell. I got kicked out because first month, like, I walked into the office. This is something we ain't spoke about, by the way. Yeah, this is something we ain't spoke about.
Talk to me about the best month and you remember it like it was yesterday.
63 grand. The best month was 63 grand. Bought the Bentley at a young age. I lived in Chelsea. Everything was, the word that I always had to use was congruent to, you don't earn 63 or 100 or millions unless you're a certain type of person. And at that point, I was that type of person, so it just made sense. I had mastered 20, 30K, but I always wondered, how'd you get to that? Sounds like psychological warfare. Like it's just you versus you a lot of the time. Another day, another part of the grind. I've started a new company alongside my business partner, TED Ness, who's Rap City Customs. I built Rap City on ego. It was a flex. It was like, look at me, I got a car wrapping company. I drive the best cars and I wrap my cars and I wrap everyone's cars and I'm lit. The first thing we need to do is cut the fucking crap. Like, and the way that is stop fucking delete the mask, bro. Gary Vee said something in 2016, never left my brain. He said,
document versus create.
He said, just document your journey because eventually CVs are not going to matter. Personal branding is going to matter more. And someone said to him Monday morning, they said, give me 3 words of advice.
You're gonna die. Yeah, that's inspiration.
I was like, hard.
First things first, Tris, like say a massive thank you for coming down from Dubai.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously today technically Leicester, but yeah. Yeah, it's only right, bro. Like I said, I see you guys working. Obviously we connected. And yeah, we're just on the road right now. We're just pushing the whole brand out, pushing the message out. But yeah, man, no problem, man.
All right, then let's start off like this. We know what you do. You're going to tell people what you do eventually. But one thing I actually don't know about you is who exactly is Trist Taylor. So if you could tell me exactly, who are you?
I mean, if we start off with role and responsibility, obviously I'm a branding consultant first. I have a marketing agency, which is based in Dubai, and a sales trainer as well. But if we're talking about as a person, entrepreneur, go-getter, risk-taker, like extremely ambitious, visionary, how deep do you want to go? Like when you say who am I, how deep do you want to go? In what sense? Like what I'm like as a person?
As a person, yeah. Like, because I could imagine with the screen, everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Probably the person, but behind the scenes, once the camera's off, who exactly are you?
Obviously, we're always going to say the best version of ourselves, right? But I wouldn't say I'm much different to how I'm on the screen. I think the only thing that's different is I'm a little bit more professional online. I'm an energy man. Like I've always got energy. Like I'm big family man. I'm big about I've always had pretty much the same or similar friends and the same kind of network. And like I'm big on principles. So I've always kept like a tight knit unit around me. I'm a music man. I love music. That was the original passion. And yeah, other than that, like I'm a student of life, man. I take everything. Like even on the way here, like we end up having, like me and the man them, like we've been on this tour for like last 3 days. We will have debates, podcast worthy debates just in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just sitting in Bill's restaurant and we're just eating a food and it turns into some big podcast debate and then we see like some parking attendant and we start talking about like it's mad that he's a parking attendant. So that's who I am as a person. Like I have those kind of debates. I have very in-depth conversations. I don't like people around me that are scared of those conversations. Do you know what I mean? And I'm a very free thinker.
So this entrepreneur life, do you think it was built into you or is it something you grew into?
No, it definitely was built into me. Like I don't think no one. Yeah, it's just I'm from a like an era of like entrepreneurship wasn't glamorous. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't cool to say like CEO and all these things. It just wasn't glamorous. I was just building with the tools I had around me, so it was never seen as anything like entrepreneur or go and jump on courses. Or it was just like, look, I want to have huge brands. That's the only thing I ever knew from a young age. I always knew I wanted huge brands. And I think when I say that now, people always like, oh, how did you know about brands? But that's because to a lot of people, brands is like a new term. Like, it's like, because it's a buzzword now, innit? We see it all over social media. But for me, I knew about the term brand from a kid. Like my dad built a brand, my mum was helping him build a brand. So I understood that there was power in ownership, power in something you can control, and also power in something that could 360 work. So what I mean by that is like, for example, you look at Apple, right? You've got the laptops, you've got the Macs, you've got the phones, and you've got the AirPods, and it's a 360 brand. You could turn around and see Apple do a festival, and it's 360. Virgin, these are 360 brands. So for me, I always wanted something that I can put anywhere. Like, so if you see Cut the Crap, you got the sales side, you got the business side, now we've got the hoodies. Who knows where that's gonna go? Do you get what I'm saying? Like all the man that you see me with, like they've got their own versions of Cut the Crap. I want that to scale. So as a kid, I always knew that. I would say that it was always a vision of mine. Yeah.
You said your dad built a brand. What brand was that?
So my dad is a jungle and drum and bass promoter. So he built a jungle and drum and bass event called Roast, and it was for anyone above 40. Like in London, not even just in London, in the UK. Like when I say it to people out of like that era, it's like, right, that's ever and Roast. Like to that generation, he's a legend. Like he's like an underground legend, and he built that up for about. Well, now it's about 30 years old, but he built that up, him and my uncle, and two of my uncles, my aunties as well, they were on the door, and they built that as a brand. Like when events were happening, they were the first to shift the culture of like little one-away backstreet parties and stuff to actually like, no, this is a brand logo. They actually went into merch. Their jackets were so popular in London. Like their jackets were so popular that my brother wore it to school, and one of the elders robbed the jacket because it was valuable. Yeah, like if you know kind of thing. It was culturally valuable, let's put it that way. So yeah, and they used to have reversible jackets, and they used to have like record bags, and the record bags were like known. Like they had a full merch, to be fair, when I deep it, yeah. It was full merch. So I saw that he had an office when I was young. I used to go to his office. I used to see them packing the tape packs. Like this probably sounds mad old to you lot here.
Yeah, tape packs.
Yeah, that probably sounds mad old to you lot. But back in the day, the events was recorded and then it was on tape, innit? Yeah. And then it's the tape packs that a lot of people grew up on. So you either went to Roast and you grew up in the dance, or you grew up listening to your older brother or older sister running that tape. And so I used to watch them like printing out the inlays, getting the cover design, that's what I'm watching, like 6 years old, 7 years old. I'm watching all my cousins, we're all helping, like it's like a little factory, we're all helping pass one tape along, put it in, move it along. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's where I would say the inspiration started, where I'm like, okay, cool, he runs this office, this is his thing, like, and I could see that he's an inspiration to me, innit? Because he was the big man, like in South London, he's got a very good reputation. I always kind of wanted that. So
would you say your father definitely had a massive impact on your life?
Guidance
into brand and therapy?
100%. Yeah, that's where I learnt my passion for building a brand and ownership and having something that's yours. That's his thing.
So was that drilled in you from you since young, early, like you knew as soon as I grew up, this is what I want to do?
I always knew I wanted a brand, yeah. I always knew I wanted to run something, always. Okay. Like, yeah, always. I can't even dumb that down, like always, yeah. Always.
So how did you learn the new ways of marketing or building a brand? Because that kind of stuff that you're talking about from your dad stuff, that's past me.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
So how did you adapt?
As I said, like, I'm a big student of the game. So I understand all the eras. Yeah, I understood where we went from tapes to CDs, went from CDs to... I understand things before they come as well. Like, I knew the internet was going to be huge. Like, I had mastered the internet... like 13, 14 years old, like Bebo, Pixel days, like MySpace, FacePic. Like I already on MSN.
Old there.
Yeah, like yeah, I know. Cam says it all the time as well. Like you're old. Like, but you know what? At that stage, the blessing of the age group that I am is that we've seen all eras. So like, there's some things that you lot will be completely out of touch with, but it's hard for me to be out of touch with anything because I've seen all the eras. So if I speak to you like about, not you specifically, but a lot of the younger generation, that sounds like hard work that a lot of men are not willing to put in.
Yeah.
But I'm blessed because I come from where we had to be that. Do you get what I'm saying? So to answer your question, like, I studied the game, I understood the changes, I studied the internet heavy. I've been very big on the internet for years. And I just realized, okay, cool. So with this tool, obviously before it was social media, even when it was just MSN and MySpace, I understood. Like, even if I look at MSN, locally, for us, MSN was the be-all and end-all. Yeah, like, that's how you met. A lot of the artists that you know as big now, they will tell you, like, MSN is where you first connected with people, yeah? And I understood that straight away, and I understood, because I used to spit when I was younger. The first thing I used to do was do music.
You used to spit?
Yeah, that was my first, like, go-to thing that I put time and effort into. Like,
Any good?
let's tell them, man.
I'm trying to hear a quick
I'm
16.
telling you a quick.
Come on, man.
bar
That's my brother.
Like, bro.
My brother from young. He'll tell
Yo,
you.
you can't say you spit and not drop a bar.
I would never drop a bar. I'll give you one fun fact though.
Go on,
You wanted to flex. I'll give you one fun fact, yeah. So when they started, this is like a proper old boy fact.
I couldn't imagine you rapping.
I had one of the first 5 behind bars on Link Up TV.
Say so.
Rashid will see this and vouch. It's not there no more. Nah, it's not there no more. Because they got shut down. They had to reopen their channel. But that's how I got the link with Rashid very early on.
why was
One
he
of the
spitting?
first. I was doing music, bro.
Like, Rashid was,
Why was I spitting? Like, I was doing music.
I would have thought you would have pursued it even more. Like,
No. So do you know what happened? I was pursuing it and it was working for me. A lot of my network now came from that era. And then I realized that I was stronger behind the scenes. And I started seeing loads of people around me that were way harder. Like I grew up with like in the era of like, I don't know if you don't know, but like grime era. So it's like P Money, Tiny Cozzy. These were like the local lot around me, yeah. So then I started realizing, okay, there's a lot of things that they needed. Like, you know, like A2 and Ben AD is Young Ads' brother. Like, this is this era. Yeah, again, it's probably old for you lot, yeah, but this is that era. And at the time, I realized that there was a lot of rappers, a lot of spitters, but there wasn't a lot of engineers, marketing, management. So I started thinking, okay, cool, I could actually switch it up a bit. And then I just pivoted into DJing. When I lived in Birmingham, I was DJing heavily. I used to be on you lot are drawing me out right now. I used to be on Big City Radio, which is
Big
you
City
lot.
Radio.
Yeah, so big legal radio station. And then I had a weekly event at Panama nightclub and another one at Dragon Eye, which is on Old Broad Street. Put my work in Brum, man.
You
Come on,
got
man.
uni here?
I went uni, but
What,
BCU,
uni?
BCU,
What you
yeah.
study?
Sound engineering. But I dropped out after a year, yeah.
Dropped out to do what?
Firstly, I dropped out to flipping chase dreams. I tried to build a PR company, but I realized you needed money. And then I went into high ticket sales after that.
High ticket sales?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so high ticket sales for me was a life changer. Like it was like coming from where we're from, like we don't know no one. Now obviously you do, like you lot have got access to everything, remote closers and all this stuff, but we didn't have that. So yeah, like the story was pretty much a friend of mine started doing high ticket sales before when we was like 2021. He just started balling out, bro. Like we was like 20. He's making like 20, 30K a month. I know you lot love figures on this show, right?
Yeah.
He's making like 20, 30K a month. And even now, that's nothing. But at the time, we're talking like 2012, people weren't, like young guys weren't getting money unless they were trapping, really. Or No, even musicians weren't. Footballers, or again, like legitimate jobs. But it wasn't something that was championed because it weren't social media era. So yeah, he started, like I was living in just absolute shithole. I left home quite young. I left home at 18. So I was living in like a bad situation. I was kind of surrounded by the wrong crowd, and he saw that, but he started doing well. So he started doing well. He went from like, first he bought a TT, Audi TT, which back then is like, yo, you got a TT, like you're doing your thing. Yeah. And then he upgraded to an X6. These times we're still like 20 years old. And then at 21, he bought Aston Martin. I was like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then he literally broke it down to me. He's like, bro, you'd be so good at this. Because I had a bit that we skipped out is after the music, DJing, with the DJing, should I say, came events. So I was quite well established from events. London, and then I started doing the uni scene. So DMU, all you know how the uni scene goes, yeah? So I started putting on events. But I was putting on events before, so it wasn't just for uni. So I already had a bit of a following. And then he was just like, bro, you're good at leading, you're good at building brands, you're good at selling your event, because I was doing sold out events regularly. He's like, bro, you should do what I do. He's like, all that you have to do is learn a script. So for me, that kind of sounded almost too good to be true. I'm like, I learned the script and I just start making all this money. But he's like, that's the starting point. And this is like before Wolf of Wall Street, this is before all of these kind of things. So I didn't know of this kind of stuff. And then, got me the job interview, smashed the job interview. I was doing sales already, but like advertising sales, recruitment sales. Smashed the job interview, got the job. First month, like I walked into the office. This is something we ain't spoke about, by the way. This is something we ain't spoke about. So I walked into the office, and obviously, like I'm coming from like at that stage, I had a good upbringing. Yeah, I'm not gonna exaggerate the drama of the upbringing, but at that stage, I was in block mode, like because I got kicked out of my mum's house. So now I'm just
Why
like,
did you get kicked out?
Why did you get kicked out?
bloody hell. I got kicked out because one, I dropped out of uni and my mum weren't playing that game, and two, I was smoking weed, bro, and my mum didn't like that. Like, that was the real thing, if I'm being deadly honest, and I've never spoken about this. Like, she didn't like that, and my mum, she's not one to play with. She's a young mum, so she was just like, yeah. To be honest, she was actually just trying to teach me a lesson, but I'm stubborn. She was just basically saying, you're kicked out, but she didn't mean it. But I took it like, watch.
That's it.
I was like, that's it, cool. I'm going to prove my... And that energy, as much as it come from a negative situation, is definitely what helped me. I can't lie. That's why I started running it up, because I realized, like, everyone now thinks I'm going to be a failure. I've dropped out of uni. I went private school, so I had good education. I got my mum and dad supporting me. I got a good family set up. There's no way I'm going outside. Like, I'm not. I'm going to now go hard. So then, yeah, obviously, I've walked into the office and, bro, like, I'm seeing just everyone's just a millionaire. Like 25, 26, 27 Lambos. Drake had just dropped Started From the Bottom. But the manager had just bought the Bentley from Started From the Bottom video. Like, it's there in my face. Like, I'm just from the block. I've never seen this. Like, never seen this, bro. It's a Bentley right there, like outside the office. I'm walking around the office. Everyone's just got APs, rollies, the stuff that now we see all the time. I say that and you don't know that. But at you guys' age, I didn't know what an AP or a rollie was. I didn't understand what the value of that was, because we didn't see all this stuff online like you do now. And then, yeah, like, my mind was blown. I'm realizing, like, people are getting money. Like, I didn't realize there was a lot of money. I didn't realize there was that much money like that. And then I just started, that was it. After that, I understood that for me to do well, I've got to make sacrifices. I understood that who I surround myself with is going to affect me massively. I understood that I'd have to leave a lot behind for this, but I knew it was a game changer. I knew it wasn't just a little bit of money. I knew if I get into this, I can easily start making millions. I've just got to put my head down. So that's what I done. I put my head down. Like, first few months was just all right, like doing your thing, climbing 2K, 3K. And then I think, like, probably about 6 to 8 months in, I made like my first 10 grand, which again, now is just like 10 grand. But at the time, I'm like, yo, 10 grand, that's mad. And then after that, I just never looked back, bro. There wasn't a month after that I made less than 25 grand, and then just started climbing, like, just climbing over the years. I went from junior to senior, got promoted to senior. Once you're senior, you get double commission. So now I'm making like 30, 40 grand a month. And then I've gone to the point of realizing that, yo, I actually really love sales. I love the mindset part of it as well. And then that's kind of where the teaching stuff developed. And I started, like, all the new starters, they would come into the office and the managers would be like, shadow Trist, go with Trist, he'll help you start up. So be a new starter, I'd be like, this is how it goes. I'd show them the ropes. And then I started realizing I'm actually good at that. And then I started becoming a team leader. And the next thing you know, I was giving meetings. And the next thing I'm like, I want my own company. So then, yeah, that's the end.
Just on that. So would you recommend to anyone listening who's obviously young and starting up to get into sales and marketing?
Yeah, so firstly, just to make it clear, there's a bit of a separation only in this instinct of there was no marketing involved within sales. So would I recommend someone young to get into sales? Only if you've got what I had to make it. Like, not everyone's got it.
So
like,
what is it?
That's a stupendous amount of resilience, delusion to believe that you can actually, one phone call will change your life. Like, knowing that what you put in, you get out, a ridiculous work ethic, like being able to sacrifice everything that we're comfortable with for the greater good, like getting rid of what you have now for what you want. These are extreme things. A lot of people ain't built like this, bro. Like, a lot of people, like, they like the idea of it, but it's like, if that means I've got to give up this for that, then maybe we'll talk about that. Like, maybe can we negotiate? Can we maybe just do this part? Like, I'm very extreme. So when I understood that, okay, cool, I can make £500,000 a year in this office, no problem. Just change this number, move out this area, I'm done. Like, this is what I want this, and then I'll come back for all of that. A lot of people have that. So to answer your question, how was that, is those traits there.
And that saved you?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I wouldn't even say saved, because saved is always like, oh, if not, I would have been dead or in jail, fam. Like, no, like that would never have been dead or in jail. Like, to be honest, I was always, I weren't the one where it's like, your teachers counted me out. They didn't, bro. Everyone had confidence, like, he's going to do his thing. I just had distractions along the way. It saved me to some extent, though, because what it helped me with is it helped me fund all of my dreams, which I'm thankful for now, 10 years later, because it's like I'm able to do everything I want to do because I'd done what I had to do at the time. And a lot of people are willing to do that.
How hard was it to make your first sale? Was it easy, or was it?
The first sale is generally easy because you don't really know how you did it. So when you make your first sale, you very rarely know how you did it. You just try loads of things, but you're sticking at it, and then it happens. And then the hardest part is the second. Because now you don't know how the hell you did it. So now you got to work out what are you replicating. And then you start overthinking. Is it the suit I wore? Is it the time I came in? Is it the affirmations I wrote? Is it the way I said hello? Like, so to make the first sale, if I'm honest, I was throwing enough shit at the wall and hoping something would stick at that stage. I was just effectively, I was, what we call it now is like outreach, really. It was outreach. I was just opening up potential clients and prospects, but I was opening up so many that I was breaking records and getting commissions off of just amount, but there was no really quality there. But within that quantity, there was a quality, and then it converted, and then there was a deal, and then I understood, okay, what was different about that? Oh, okay. I converted him. I understood. I qualified him, should I say. I started asking the right questions. I understood where he was financially. And I was credible in the way I spoke. I knew more about the market, because ours was high ticket sales for us was within the investment industry. So it was about commodity investment. So I started to learn the markets better, the financial terms, and that's when I became more able to convert. And then after that, once I worked out the formula, they was dead, bro. It was dead.
All right, then. So obviously, I always hear you talk about in your story about talk about the win, and so many people want to hear the outs. What is the biggest win for you when you was doing the sales and everything? Talk to me about the best month, and you remember it like it was yesterday. 63
grand. The best month was 63 grand. The first time, obviously, that I'd ever made that amount. And it's overwhelming, isn't it? Like, it's overwhelming because, like I said, this is a different era. I always got to remind that context, because now 63 grand don't have the same effect, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've seen the crypto era. We've seen how many self-made millionaires and stuff off internet. But at that time, this is what, 2015? I'm like 23, 24, I want to say. And so one thing about me in sales, I was consistent with the figure. I wasn't necessarily the top earner. I was always a consistent earner. So I always, regardless, I'm always making 30 grand a month, minimum. Okay. So that was my thing. I had colleagues who would make 100 grand, 80 grand, and then next month they come in and make 5 grand, like just crazy ups and downs, mad lifestyles. It's just crazy. As much as that is appealing, it doesn't build no consistency. I couldn't really build a life like that. I was able to build a life because I knew what I had every month. But going back to that point, so yeah, like, made 63 grand, bro. Like, to do that was based on the goals. Like, I had huge goals. At that time, obviously, I was like, I already had like a luxurious lifestyle. Obviously, I had bought the Bentley at a young age. I lived in Chelsea. Everything was, the word that I always like to use was congruent to, you don't earn 63 or 100 or millions unless you're a certain type of person. And at that point, I was that type of person, so it just made sense. And yeah, I think I just got on a client that I'd done big figures with. That month, I was pushed out of my comfort zone training-wise because I had mastered 20, 30K, but I always wondered, how'd you get to that figure? Like, because sales is psychological warfare. Like, it's just you versus you a lot of the time. Like, you're just trying to, how do I break that barrier? Like, how do I get past that? And the way I had to do that was make myself uncomfortable. I think that month I had committed to, at the time, as a Rose Gold Sky Dweller, and I had committed to, so we used to have this little thing which was like, you buy your goals from new money. So it was like anytime you got a goal, you go and earn that money. Don't spend your savings. So I had committed that month to the Sky Dweller, which at the time was 28.5, which I don't know what they are priced at now, but mad low at the time, 28,500. And I committed to it, to the whole office. And then I think it was also the same month as I'd booked there was 2 holidays. So I'd booked 2 holidays back to back, which was like Jamaica, Vegas, and then New York and LA, but back to back holiday. So I'd put myself in a position where I'd committed high. And then, yeah, bro, like I ended up hitting that goal. And then after that wasn't the biggest, but that was the biggest that I could make sense of. The biggest after that was 78. But that was a bit like combined. There was like it was my sales income, but at that point I was also making a lot of money from the people I was training as well. Do you get what I mean? So it was like other income, but 63 was like that's the all me flex. It's like, yeah.
So the guy told you that all you had to do was learn a script. But I've watched your stories. I might be wrong, might be right, but you were like, a script isn't gonna save you.
Yeah, fair. What?
Did you figure out that the script wasn't saving you or wasn't making you the money, or did you still follow the script to make the?
No, so good question. So to make it clear, I don't think scripts are wrong, yeah, but it's the way people receive the scripts. So him saying all you got to do is learn the script, doesn't mean you say the script word for word. To learn a script and saying a script is very different. So for example, I'll give you a prime example. If I know the way back to Bullring versus if I follow the steps on Google, it's different. When I know the way, I'm more comfortable on the way there. So it's a bit of me in it. I'm driving like I know where I'm going. Whereas if I'm follow, I'm more stiff. Same on the phones. So where what people often do is if they learn a script, it's like, hello, I am calling on. That's what I'm against. I'm not against a script, but you have to know what a script is useful for. It's a skeleton, it's a guideline. It shows you where you're going to, but you don't have to follow it word for word. And when you do, it comes through the cell and it affects the results.
So is that what you learn while at the job?
Yeah, cool. So obviously within the process, what I haven't mentioned is I ended up training hundreds of people. So I took a step back in about probably just after the 63 grand, to be fair. I took a bit of a step back and I said, all right, cool. I wanted to start bringing back my creativity into it because I was just in sales. I was not doing no music, no branding, nothing. It was just sales. And you get to a point where it's like, you made a lot of money now. I want to do things that are a little bit more fun. So I took a step back and I started training everyone. And in the process of training everyone is where I started to realize the flaws that people go through in sales. And that's when I realized, okay, you're doing wrong because you keep following the script. Be willing to come off the script, put you in there, put some you into the conversation. That's why I would say I learned that.
So after earning all that money, what did your mum say? What did your mum think? What did your family think?
No, it wasn't at one moment. I'm not a lottery winner, man. It was I was accumulating money for years. Like it wasn't like, yo, bang, oh my God, 63 grand. Like it was like the first time my mum knew that we was getting lit basically is the first month that I done 10K. Because obviously I had left home. So me and my mum, our relationship went a bit south, unfortunately. Yeah. My best friend to bits now. And always been my best friend, but we clashed a bit. And we clashed, which is obviously why I left home, etc. And then I programmed my brain to think that, yo, if I come back and I'm just living, I'm making money, it's gonna fix our relationship, which is cap, but at the same time, it also gave her peace of mind. Her response initially was, you're crazy, because I pulled up outside in the Bentley, I'm 21. She's like, what the hell are you doing? My mom's not like, oh my God, like, she's not an idiot. Like, your mums love you. They want, like, she's thinking, what are you doing? My dad's like, bro, like, he's with the flex, but my mum's kind of like, listen, as long as you're safe. I've never spoke figures with my mum all these years. The first time my mum ever knew how much money I was making was last year on the internet, about November. All those years. And yeah, but I've never spoke figures with my mum. What do you mean?
How much was that?
When I started putting together the sales stuff, obviously I started talking about how much I'm making a year, start talking about how much I've accumulated. That's when she started seeing like 200, 300Ks. Then she hasn't said nothing, but she just knew it was a lot of money because everything was good and everything was sorted, but she didn't really... My mum, man, like I don't really do the money thing with my mum. Do you know what I mean? Your mum's always gonna humble you. I think it's corny to be like, my mum, like... Yeah. They knew it was lit over here for years. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the main aim.
All right, then. So Trist, if money wasn't in the picture, would you still be doing what you were doing?
Right now or back then?
Back then,
no. I jumped in sales to get rich. There was nothing else. Like I jumped in sales because everything I wanted to do, which I'm doing now, cost a lot of money, and I couldn't find that money anywhere. It weren't making sense.
Is that selfish or selfless? What you're doing?
So I was selfish first. Yeah. I say to everyone, it's important to be selfish first so I could be selfless. My why was all focused on my family. So the first bits of money, like I sent my mum to uni. Like when I bought my first rollie, I bought all my family rollies. When I'm buying things for me, I'm buying it for my family. Like my mum's drippy, my sister's drippy. Like it's Louis Vuitton everywhere. It's bags, this, that, the other. So it was selfless, but to get that bag, I had to be selfish.
So during that time, how much hours were you putting in? Was it like late nights?
24 hours.
24 hours?
Yeah. It's a lifestyle, bro. Like, do you know what it is? Like, technically, I'm going to the office. We start at 12, we end at 8, and I'm in the office from 10. I'm leaving at 9. It's a lifestyle. Never switch off.
So
like,
how did you avoid distractions?
Everyone asks me that, yeah? I get asked that a lot on social media, like, how do you stay focused? Now, I'm not saying you're wrong to ask it, yeah? But it's like, you stay focused, innit? Like just cut the crap.
Cut the crap.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like literally, because it's like, bro, the distractions, if you care about where you're going enough, it's not even a thought. Like it's like me turning around and saying to you, okay, look, guys, I'm gonna help you get this podcast to 1 million subscribers. I need 3 months of your focus. How are you gonna stay focused? If you either want it or you don't want it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not a special formula. all right, I always say that. Secondly, I'll give like actionable. Mine was, I'm extreme. I left my environment of comfort. And your environment of comfort is usually where your distractions are. My distractions for me is social. I'm a very social person. So and I always, like, I come from an area and a background where not everyone has got the same level of ambition as me, but I'm such a personality, I'm a person first. So I could have like the man them with me back then, and these could be unambitious man them, but I love them as my brothers. And that's my distractions now. Now, next thing you know, I'm doing, and it's not no one else's fault other than mine. Now, next thing, I'm chilling on the block, I'm smoking weed, we're doing nonsense because of that's my distractions. Another distractions I would say, but I think it helped along the way, is girls. Like, personally, I think it helped along the way though, but because in what we were doing, it was based around lifestyle. So the girls played a part. This is mental, I'm saying right now.
The girls, I'm thinking, how?
Exactly, true.
All right, the girls played a part. All right, for me personally, whether I was in a relationship or whether I was single, and I'm not saying this is right, but for me personally, a lot of my thing, as men, we make money to peacock. This is psychological. This is facts, yeah? We make money to be providers. Like, it's in our ego, it's in our genetics. So for me, it was like the females was like, wait a sec. If I set this goal and it involves this female, I'm gonna get it. Whereas if I commit to just myself, maybe not. If I commit to this girl, like, babe, we're going to do the mad thing, we're going business cards, it's happening. Don't get me wrong, it's corny. However, that's what worked for me. Like, the lifestyle of it, like fine dining restaurants. Like, it wasn't never about the money for me. It was a lifestyle. It's where we live. It's the chauffeurs. It's the watches. It's the travel in the world. It was like what we're able to really, the world I was able to uncover that was not open to us before we had money. Whereas now, man, do it for bust downs and like for social media. Like, man, literally risk their freedom for social media. It's mental. Like, whereas for us, there was no risk of freedom and there was no social media. It was about how do we, like, we wanted to be bougie, classy, we wanted to be affluent, we wanted to be top tier individuals, high value men. We didn't just want to just have money, we wanted to eat well, look well, smell well, be fit. Do you get what I mean?
So did this lifestyle actually bring you peace?
No, the lifestyle didn't bring me peace. No, the lifestyle,
So what did it do for you exactly?
The lifestyle, what it done for me was it didn't bring me peace. No. Great question as well.
So what was it, to fulfill your ego, to make you feel
at
like
the
man?
time, I thought it was going to bring me peace because you're young, you're 20, 21 years old. You don't even, at that point, when you're broke, like this is where another way cut the crap came from. Like one of these gurus will go online and be like, just focus. When you're broke, you can't afford peace, bro. Like, when you're broke, in your head, you can't afford peace. You're broke. Like, it's great. I will still tell someone on a 1-to-1 or something, look, focus on your peace, but it's so hard to digest that. I'm broke. My stomach hurts. What do you mean peace, bro? I'll take your peace, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at that stage, it was just about, number one, financial freedom. I knew that if I get there, I can then go and do everything that will fulfill me, which is what I've done. Now, what you see me doing now, this is all my fulfillment now. Peace is peace galore, man. We're running around with peace right now. But for the first 8 years, I sacrificed peace to get to a financial level that made me be able to go forward and just grow everything and do what I love now.
So speaking on all of that, yeah, I've actually stalked your Instagram page and I've gone to the bottom.
No
First
way.
post.
Yeah.
And I've seen you talk about hard times, struggling, and you were like, yo, just tell yourself you'll get through it. And you said you meditate on there. Is that something you still do?
Yeah, I meditate nowhere near as often as I should, but I still meditate. Like, for me, because I have a lot of thoughts going in my mind, bro. My mind doesn't stop. So at certain times, especially when I'm going through hard times, meditation's helped me massively because it just slows the mind down. Do you know what I mean? It allows you to start. People get it wrong. They think it's to silence the thoughts. It's not. It's just to come at peace with the thoughts. It's to allow the thoughts. It's to be aware of what they are rather than let them control you. Just be at peace. At peace with them. So yeah, my meditation's a big part of, especially when I'm going through the stress. Meditation's key, man.
Do you do anything else? Journal?
No, I've never really been a journaler, but I guess it's ironic though because I've journaled my whole life, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, one thing, like, all my day ones will say, like, bro, I've got everything documented. Like, I am a receipts man. I've got everything. There's not one thing I will say that I can't show you it happened. So that was something that I think that actually came from the fact I know where I'm going to take this. Like, I know one day that's going to be worth a lot. But I think also, see me, like, if I think about something I'm a man, I'll go and tweet it like, right, listen, this is what we're doing. We're about to take this to the whole next level. That's my journal. Like, so I don't care who gets it. It's just like, it's therapy now. I've put it out there. Do you know what I mean? That's my way.
So obviously, from the first post, I think it was a Snapchat post because
Yeah. That's when the Snapchat was 10 seconds, man. What you know about it, bro?
That's what I'm thinking. So
You lot are making me feel old, bro.
Like documentation, Tris. Thinking back on all those years, what's been the biggest point where you thought, yo, I remember this moment and it was a life-changing moment for me?
I think getting into sales. I think that first day was mental to me. Maybe I skipped over that a bit too, like I dumbed it down, but like it's just Bentleys, Lambos, like everyone's rich. Like I'm in this room, I'm in the room. Like and I'm not only in the room, I eventually become valuable in this room. Now my network, my first, which I guess is a cheat code, I guess. As soon as I started making money, I already had a network because not online and stuff. My network is in here. My manager is a multimillionaire. My floor manager, a multimillionaire. My senior is a multimillionaire. My colleagues are millionaires. Everyone around me was millionaires, like everyone. And to be honest, I soloed in on that. I wasn't in the ends. I left the ends early, like 20 years old, because I understood what was in front of me. The opportunity was a life changer. So I have to say the opportunity, I realized like, okay, cool. I can make unlimited money in this. So for me, that was life-changing, seeing it. Remember, like, even now, like, you see it online, but there's nothing like that being your friend. Like, you walk in every morning, he is a multimillionaire, and that's just morning. Like, it's just your brethren now. Do you know what I mean? That's your guy. The next thing you know, he's your guy too, and he's your guy too, and he's your guy. And the next thing you know, for me, I was blessed because 4 of the guys that we all got to that bag together were all my day ones as well. So now I'm like, okay, we're in here now. So now it's gang shit in here almost, but at the same time, we're amongst, but we're all valuable. We all got it. Do you get what I mean? So I'd say that was it.
So how is it? I could imagine being around these multimillionaires, so surreal. And so how is it you actually utilize the network with these people?
The way I utilized it was I always showed value first. See me, I'm not someone who comes with my hand open. Like I'm a student of the game. A lot of the questions you asked me when we first spoke, like they're the type of questions I ask people. Like I wanted to understand things. And when they saw that in me, people that are high value, when they see that you don't want something you don't want to take, but you just want to learn and then also maybe even give, you get yourself a secure position in the room. Them going forward, I bring ideas to the table. I'm an ideas man. So if I've got a network of people, I ain't just got them in the phone book. Like I always say, your network's your net worth, but only if you make use of it. Like my phone book's full of so many millions, but not all of it am I making use of. The ones that I am is the ones I'm saying, yo, bro, let's chop it up. I was thinking to you, like, for example, this morning, we've got an event on Sunday. In my head, I'm thinking, all right, cool. And this is a blessing I have. Like, I don't talk about this enough because people don't realize how valuable this is. If I sit there right now and we sit here amongst all the man them in here and we have an idea, 99% of the things we need, I bet you I can get done right now. Yeah, I've been known as that for years, always. Trist will know someone who knows someone that can, that's always been my USP. I can get, today I woke up and I realized that we need mics for the venue, cool. Need someone to speak, need caterers, cool. All of these things, like if we need link up there, if we need, whoever we need someone there, we'll get it. Like we got, obviously it's going to come out afterwards, but we got Flomsy's going to come to the event. No one actually knows that. We're not announcing that, but it's come out afterwards. Alfie's going to be in it. It's just network, like, but it's value exchange. It's not, yo bro, I beg you, it's like, calling in favors for people that I've probably opened doors for or done favors for myself along the way. So why is that? Because I gave value first.
Wow. Beautiful. So tell us about the Dubai situation. Like, why move to Dubai? What's out there for you? Do you regret it?
Nah, man. Best thing ever, man. Especially now, like, I love UK. But yeah, no, best thing ever. I can't wait to go back home. No, it was originally based on a brand called Shisha Lounge that you probably see me always recording in.
Yeah.
With my podcast and stuff. Originally, I was a part of the Shisha team of the actual launch of that, taking that brand over there. So that was why I originally moved. I also wanted to take Rap City over there, which is my car rapping company, but before lockdown. And then when I got there, I met my business partner. We started a concierge company and an events company over there, which now is a very saturated industry. We kind of made a conscious decision to say, do you know what? We didn't want to stay in that. It wasn't for us. It was fun, but it wasn't as profitable as we wanted. And then obviously we got the marketing agency, me and my business partner Tyra. So now I've built a home for myself. Like I've got a network out there, especially now that I'm back on the content, so I'm connected with people. Now obviously I've got sales clients out there. I'm training the real estate companies over there. And yeah, it's an amazing place, bro. Like it's peaceful. It's a land of entrepreneurs. Everyone's there to win. Everyone's there for a purpose. It's very positive. Everyone's quite uplifting. Doors open a lot easier than they do here. There's not much ego in the sense of, oh, I don't want to open this door for that person. And obviously it's sun, sand, and whatever the other S is in that sentence.
Just going off what you said, there's a lot of ego over here. I think it was when your recent stories, how you're talking about speaking about what you do.
Yeah, I think that's today.
Today.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's like that in the UK, and why do you think people strive
Good question.
in Dubai?
I think in the UK, we was talking about this yesterday, me and Amanda, like I think in the UK, there's like, it's a British culture, right? We're run by the monarchy. So we come from that. Like that's who rules the country, whether we love it or hate it. And their thing is always about class, and class usually involves being humble. Humble is about being tasteful. America's not run like that. Other cities are not run like that. Other countries aren't run like that. Where we shouldn't be too flexy. On top of that, we grow up in areas where we overthink showing off too much. We also think everyone else is on a bigger pedestal than us because they've done more than us, or oh, I've only done like this podcast. It'd be like, yeah, but it's just like, oh, it's our new little thing, innit? Like, why is it new little? Like, it's your podcast. Do you know what I'm saying? With your whole chest,
Own
like,
it,
like own it. But I think we're conditioned by our environment where it's like, we dumb everything down because we're in this. And you only really realize it when you travel. When I first went to LA, I spent some time in LA years back. And that's when I first clocked it. I clocked this way before Dubai, by the way. It was LA. I was in LA and I used to always rap my cars. Like that's why I got into rapping. So I was always had loud cars and loud colors. I would drive around with loud colors.
Saw it, the Grow Daily.
Yeah, I had the Grow Daily, yeah.
That's
And then when I went to America, like everyone used to be like, oh my days, your color's mad. And I used to think like, yeah, it's mad, but the people I look at, they do it. Like all the Americans were doing it. I'm like, I didn't make that up. And when I went to America, I realized like, raw, America, it's normal. Like no one's like, raw, like, you know, in London, people used to say to me like, oh, how do you have a car, bright orange? Like that's so loud. Like, it's like, what? But in America, it's like, yo, that's hard. Like, like what do you do? Next thing you know, I do this. Oh, really? Oh, bam, connect, bam. That, when you start to travel more, you start to realize that happens everywhere else other than UK. And I know people might watch this and think like, no, it does happen in UK, but it doesn't, man. Like it doesn't. My best connections that I've met, it's not been via like stuff like that. Like if in the UK, it's been via the internet, but even then, there's so much just fear. I'm not just gonna go link my man. Oh, who's my man? Who does my man know? Oh, I heard this about that. It's just not. Whereas in these other cities, it's just like, yo, what do you do? Sick, let's connect. Do you get what I mean? And I think UK is missing that. And I personally blame the government. I think it's the government's fault.
That's calling out the government, you know.
I'll get out of here before I start saying that stuff, man.
You went to Zero in Dubai.
Yeah. I thought you meant Zero Gravity. I was about to say. There's a place called Zero Gravity in Dubai.
You went
Yeah.
to Zero in Dubai. I was watching a bit of CEO cast.
Yeah.
And you were talking about, you were basically trying to maintain a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Basically on tourist life.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why you did that? Did you do that out of like, because social media is watching?
No, not so much.
People knew you were making money and you kind of just had to.
Not so much social media. Like, I'll be honest, social media weren't really my thing. It's my people, man. Like, it was more my people. It's like, can't start telling your mum you ain't got it. Can't start telling the man them you ain't got it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was more that, like, what do you mean, how are we getting there? Like, where's the Bentley, bro? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm being honest, like, it wasn't social media. I didn't really care that much about social media because social media is easy to finesse anyway. Like, half of these people ain't even really got money, or half of the people that have got money, it's not accurate. You can never really tell from social media. For me, where that came from was, don't get twisted. Like, let me make a big disclaimer. It wasn't just because it weren't like, oh, he spunked all his money on lifestyle. Like, no, I was way better with money than I've been getting money for years, so it wasn't new to me to do that. What it more was is the amount of risks I took at the same time. That's the best way to say it. I took a lot of risks at one time financially, and none of them came through. So now imagine, like, I don't know if anyone gambles, but for example, when you go into the casino, if I've put all chips on the table and none of my numbers come in, I'm done out. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So that's more what it was. It weren't really social media. It was like the ego and the mask that where it come from for me was, I'd say my people, man. I used to, when times were hard, I never wanted to tell my people. It was my people. I don't care about social media.
Never wanted to tell them?
Nah. Because I built up too much of a mask. It was all it's on me. I'm the one.
Okay, then so doesn't that go back to cutting the crap? Why would you just be real?
But that's where Cut the Crap came from.
So what, you can only be real now you made it?
No. What I mean is that Cut the Crap came out of that. Me realizing I wasn't cutting the crap. Me realizing like, yo, I need to cut the crap. Like, that was me talking to myself. Most of these things are me talking to myself. I'm like, yo, we need to work out to get back up. Well, first thing we need to do is cut the fucking crap. Like, and the way that is stop fucking delete the mask, bro. Like, get rid of the mask, tell the truth to the people then that's the first step. Then work out who's really with you. Cool, now you work out who's really with you. Now we rebuild. And it's an amazing process, by the way. Like, it's very therapeutic. Like, cutting the crap is a very therapeutic process.
So would you say that basically the whole cut the crap, you say it brings the biggest authenticity to you?
Yeah, 100%. That's what it's about. But disclaimer, I said this yesterday, it's not my thing. Cut the crap's not just my thing. Like, it's me saying it right now. Right now, you see me saying it. But you're going to start to see Cam talking about it, Jimbo talking about it, other people around me talking about it. It's not just Trist. But right now, I'm saying, I'm cutting the crap. Do you know what I mean? You see the bros with the hoodies on and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, for now, it's it's definitely, it helped me strip a lot away. And it helped me feel free, bro. It gave me a power. Like, I've got an advantage on people because I'm not scared to tell the truth, and they are. So it's like, you don't even know how powerful I can be now.
So how did you rebuild from zero? Like, what did you know that was going to work? And what did you start?
Rebuilding from zero sounds hard. Word. Rebuilt from zero. It's hard. How did I do that? Went back to the basics, bro. Everything that helped me the first time round is the formula. Like, when I was 20 and I started making all that money, it wasn't by accident. I knew what I was doing. It was a formula. And I'd mastered that formula, but I forgot about the formula for a bit. So when I stripped everything back, silenced the noise, start really thinking about what's me, who I am, I was like, all right, cool, let me reapply the formula. The formula is the congruency. Yeah, you'll hear me say that word a lot. Who I'm surrounding myself with, the conversations I'm having, what I'm watching, what I'm reading, what I'm eating, like what I'm digesting, what music am I listening to? What's my habits again? Am I doing my affirmations again? Am I a big thinker? Because I went into survival mode. I stopped thinking huge again. Start having idiot thoughts. Like, I went, like, just not thinking huge. Like, just thinking like, dumbing down. This is why everything you hear me say, you'll get it now, why you see certain things come through Instagram. This is why I'm telling everyone, like, don't dim your light. Because that's what I was doing. You know, like Nipsey says, never let a hard time humble us. Like, I let the hard time humble me. Don't do that, man. Like, you know who you are at core if you are really that person, and you will be able to do it again and again and again. No matter what climate, it's in you. It's not, Nipsey says it's in you, it's not on you.
Okay, so what's crazy about this, what I'm speaking about? So think like 2 years ago, you was doing Grow Daily. During lockdown, you was doing the lives. And obviously, I was in that live 2 years ago, and you was providing values, and it wasn't just you. So what made you want to produce such content for free that obviously people would actually pay for to have?
I've always been about that. Like, my thing was always the blueprint, bro. Like, I don't know where it come from, but I always just wanted everyone around me to win. Because winning on your own is so dead, bro. Like, I know a lot of people who have won on their own. It's so dead. Trust me, it's dead. It's not the same. Like, you want all of you to have money. You don't want it to just be you've got the money. Like, where's Trist? It's dead. Like, if you know how to do it, teach everyone around you how to do it. And also on top of that, I believe in universal laws. So it's like, I believe in abundance. I believe if you give, you get tenfold. So if I'm teaching you how to build this brand, if I'm teaching you how to build this brand and you go on to build the brand and you grow it, what have I lost? I haven't lost nothing. If anything, I'm a credit to what you've just done. Do you get what I mean?
Okay, so would you do that out of your kindness, or would you do it just because you know it might come back tenfold?
No. Back then, I was just Gary Vee said something in 2016, never left my brain. He said, document versus create. He said, just document your journey, because eventually CVs are not going to matter. Personal branding is going to matter more. And that slapped me. I thought, that's deep. So then I thought, okay, let me start documenting. Then I'm teaching my sales classes and I'm going home thinking, let me just put this online. I don't know where it came from, in the sense of Grow Daily wasn't about me. The Grow Daily started as a platform for everyone else. Why we started Grow Daily is because we saw GRM and Link Up and SBTV have platforms for the music, but there was no platform for personal development. This is 2016, 2017. So we decided to create what we knew was missing. So there wasn't really, it wasn't really a situation of, did I intentionally give away, like, I just thought, let me just drop the crumbs. Whoever picks it up. Like, that's it. There wasn't really like a plan, bro. Do you know what I mean? It was just, this is what I'm doing, man.
So back to Dubai now. So did you go back into sales, or was it more on the marketing side?
So marketing, both. This is where now we draw the link now, because obviously I became a partner of Tower Creative a year and a half ago. So that was my first step back up. Then the sales I only returned to recently when I linked up with Cam, because then we started thinking about, okay, what are we gonna package for the internet? Because I'd never ever generated an income from the internet.
Did you meet Cam in Dubai?
I met him in Dubai. We met on a yacht. Yeah, I only met Cam last September, October. September?
What, September? Just
2022.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. But obviously, like I said, he done the same thing that I just been saying that I do. He showed me a blueprint. He's like, okay, I've scaled my business from hair to hair. Like Cam scaled it from 0 to 20K plus, and it was transparent, and he was real about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Talk to me about it. How did that work? He's broke it down. He showed me the blueprint. I'm like, okay, cool. And on top of the fact he's showing me the blueprint, it's a man of my own kind, because I'm a man to show you the blueprint too. Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, cool. I've got hella blueprints I can show you. So we start vice versa. This is my blueprint. This is yours. Cool. Let's merge them together. Next thing you know, we got in-house. Next thing you know, we got Cut the Crap Sales Bootcamp. Next thing you know, we're here. Do you get what I mean? That's where it all started.
Okay, so using the blueprint, if you was to lose it all, I had to restart today using your blueprint.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
Same thing you just saw me do again. Same way.
Sales.
Oh, in the sense of what would I do?
Yeah, if you used to restart and do everything.
I mean, I can always pivot. I'm very pivotable, but it usually ends up back to selling and giving. I could pivot. Like when you know the formula applies to anything, bro. I've done everything and anything. Like sales wise, I've sold anything and everything. Industry wise, I've been in every industry. I've been in tech, I've been in sales, branding, events, music, all of it. PR, like I've been in it all. So I wouldn't restrict it. If that was to happen, it's bounce back ability, bro. I feel like now nothing can break me, man. I understand like how it's the formula, innit? Once you know the formula, you're good.
So you're a man with a massive network. I want to know what you actually say to people to build that connection, so it can be like, oh yeah, bro, I need your help, or vice versa. It's
always value first, but I'm just not an asker. I know that's not a word, but I'm just not like, I'm not someone to be like I could have the maddest connection, and like I said around New Year's, I was like, I'm always one phone call away from Jay-Z. So that sounds like a flex, but it pisses me off though, because it's like, what am I doing with that?
Are you gonna call him?
I ain't got his number, but I'm saying like I'm one. And when I say one phone call, it's in one person away. Just to elaborate, yeah. So like with situations like that, it's like I don't always feel like I'm utilizing to the extent that I should. But to go back to your question of how do I establish that, I think it's just about real recognize real every single time. Like it's just like, bro, I'm someone who I'll see you and be like, yeah, man, I respect your thing, bro. And then after that, if you see the value in me, brilliant. If you don't, you don't. Like there's no special formula. But one thing I don't do is I don't force things. And I don't start asking for things straight away. And I don't just see it as like, oh yeah, I can just shout my man. Like one thing about me, I don't like calling things in unless I need to and unless it's going to be beneficial. Like I got brethren around me sometimes and they're like, why can't you just ask so-and-so if he could post da-da-da? I'm like, no, I won't. I could, but I won't. Because I might need that card for a stronger play. This is weak. Like, I don't like to do too much requesting. I like to give value. And you know, one of my main things as well, a little tip that I don't think I've ever said, I love to get people to follow me. Because once you follow me, the rest is done. Because if you follow me, you see what I'm about. I don't need to do nothing else.
Personal branding.
Don't need to do nothing else. I don't even need to message you. As long as you see me, I don't ever need to message you ever again. Because you will eventually see something I post and you will think, yeah, man, I connect with that. As long as I know I'm giving the pure, you will think, yeah, I connect with that. Most of the things, sometimes I call in like, yo, do you want to jump on the pod? Or someone will be like, I got a big, huge guest about to come on my pod next week, which is huge to me. To the music industry, is huge, but he's not an artist. And to most people, we wouldn't actually know him. Yeah?
You have an idea?
Yeah, I can say it now because it's coming out after. Yeah. When's it coming out? Wow. It don't matter anyway. Don't matter. So again, no, let me not say it because God willing, if it happens, I'll tell you off camera. But my point is that why have I been able to do that? Ironically, a lot of platforms bigger than me could call this guy and he wouldn't do it. The reason being, he knows that for the last decade, I've been pure-hearted and I've only ever just wanted to just learn and soak. I'm a student in the game. People are ahead of you always know that. If you're successful, I know that's why I'm here. Because I spoke to Kai, I'm like, it's a student of the game. Whatever you want to do, we do it. Raheem, CEO cost, student of the game. I'm like, cool, whatever you want to do, we do it. People will just, there's nothing you got to do. Just keep being you. Just be pure. Like, let people know you're not with your hand out. You're not sly. You're just real. Do you get what I'm saying? There's no tactic.
So with a lot of content, yeah, because everyone's trying to make content. What is it you think that makes?
Tell me about it.
Yeah. what is it you think that makes your content stand out from others? Or I could say, for a bit, what do you think makes content actually real as it is?
Exactly what you just said. Being real. Like a lot of the content is too. It's all the same shit, innit? It's like we sit, we put the camera down, we get the light in, we talk to the camera, we put captions on, a few JPEGs and GIFs, and we're done. And most of the stuff is regurgitated from someone else. It's very rarely life experience. It's generic things like if you want to build a brand, logo looks like this. And it's just all generic. Like you got to be motivated. And do you know what I'm saying? It's who you surround yourself with. Show me your 5 friends and I'll tell you your future. Like it's hella cliche. We see it all the time. What I try and do, number one, I don't think there's many people in my space that sound like me in the sense of actually tonality wise. Like a lot of people either put on a voice online, they're scared to slang or talk how they talk or dress how they want to dress. Secondly, I have a wide experience. So I've got a pool that's never ending that I can speak from, I can draw from, I can refer to things that no one can be me because you didn't go through what I went through. Do you know what I mean? And the diversity of what I went through. Like we're talking about hood, man them, ends, to high ticket sales, to uni. Like we could sit and have a conversation. You'll name things, and 9 out of 10 times I'll be like, I've done that. I've been through that. I know somebody does that. Like I've just got a wide amount of experience. I've traveled the world. I've spoke to different people. So that separates me. And the fact that now more than ever, it's cutting off the crap. Is like, yo, look, I'm telling you the harsh reality. Most people don't do that. Most people, they pretty it up. Do you get what I mean? They don't want it to sound too. They don't want to talk about the losses. They want to talk about the. My thing is harsh, and also I always want to sound like you know where I come from. I want you to hear the South London in me as well. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want that.
You're from South London.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody.
You know, this is what I was asking him earlier. I was like, what part of London are you from?
Yeah, South London, Catford, Lewisham, yeah.
What's it like, South?
Yeah, it's a lovely place, man. It's amazing.
That's not what everybody else. In fact, the APM said, the guy who you said with the shades, he was like, yo, it's dead.
Where's he from in South?
No idea.
No, he just got South London. It's not where you want to be.
No, like, it depends what you want. I wouldn't say it's not where you want to be. It just depends what you want from life. Because what about the man who want to be in the ends? Like you can't say it's not where you want to be. It's not where I want to be currently, but I love it for what I got from it. I don't think I would be half the person I am without being raised in South London. Like that's just I can't lie, like not to just be area risk, but it gives us an advantage, bro. Like when you're from South, you've got an advantage, bro. I'll be honest. Like we walk into a room, we dominate a room, we carry ourselves a certain way. Man ain't doing that. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like and I've taken that all around the world, even in Dubai. Like there's a big community from South, and we hold a certain presence, man.
So, how much streams of income do you have?
Great question. To be honest, I don't know. Like streams, like obviously me and Cam are business partners, so most like 9 out of 10 things we do together. But we've got loads of different parts of. But let me make this clear. One focus, really, yeah. Kind of. All right, so obviously I've got Tyra Creative Marketing Agency, yeah. Then I've got brand consultancy, one-to-one clients. Then I've got the sales training and the boot camps. Then obviously, technically we've got in-house. And that's it. They're the main, but they're all linked though. They're all part of the Trist Taylor brand. I'm not on that whole, having 7 streams of income doesn't mean having 7 businesses.
Okay.
That's where people go wrong. Everyone thinks it means 7 businesses. It doesn't mean that. Find a way to make 7 streams from your one business, then you're hard. But a lot of people don't know how to do that because they think it means 7 businesses. And then you got a man chasing 100. And I've been there. I'm not saying it like I've never done it. But yeah, now that's all part of the one thing, innit? Sales training, brand consultancy, it's all part of the marketing company, it's all part of one thing.
So the most you made back then a month was 60, 78?
I know you're going with this. Go on.
What's the most you've made now up until this day?
No, we're not doing that one.
We're not doing that.
No, wait, you know how Flip says we don't talk too much, man.
All right, cool.
We're not doing that one now, man. Don't worry, man. We're not missing any meals, put it that way.
All right, just if you could give one piece of advice from your younger self to do this all over again, what would it be?
Patience. Just have patience, bro. Like, I never had no patience. Most people now don't have patience. Most of the dumbest decisions because of lack of patience. Most of the reasons why man got 7 businesses because they ain't patient. Most of the reasons why people need advice extremely quickly is because they're not patient. It's all patience, bro. Most of us want everything now. We're not here to build. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're builders. Like, you see me with the man them, like, this is a team of builders. Like, we are building. We don't care. I could speed this whole machine up in a month right now if I wanted to go brazy. Like, I could tap in, but then the foundation could collapse. Okay. What we're focused on right now, and obviously the losses taught me this even more so, is build a solid foundation. When I was younger, I didn't build a solid foundation. Just making money, spending money, it weren't solid. Now it's solid. We're taking our time to lay these bricks. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say patience, bro.
So what's your aim? What's your end goal?
Global domination. That's the end goal. To take the same thing that we're doing here, right in this room right here, take the same thing, bigger and better all over the world. When I say the same thing, I mean the message, the brands that you see us pushing, the content you see us pushing, like what we stand for, like being truthful about entrepreneurship. But the main thing, like where I'm on the mission right now with Cam, is like I put on a caption the other day, building your brand and scaling it. That's the new trap. Like, that's what I'm on. Like, building a brand and scaling it. Like, why are we not making that cool? Like, everyone talks about business. What about the brand though? Because the brand lasts the test of time. Not always a business. Business can come and go. Brands, they last forever if you do it right. So the goal is to build a brand within, there's Trist, and then there's obviously all the brands within that we've mentioned, in-house, cut the crap, niche, etc. And the goal is just to scale them, bro. Scaling is the word of the year. We're just scaling everything. Like taking the business to the next level. And while we're scaling our own, we're teaching other people how to scale theirs as well. Like, I very rarely come on platform to talk a lot about that, but from a service point of view, what we do is we help other entrepreneurs scale their business, and it's proven. It's not, like, I don't ever want no one to watch this and get this confused with these business gurus that have never built a business. Yeah. Like, it's proven. There's facts, receipts for everything. You see me posting my clients. I know you see me posting my clients. You see what they're going through. We've got 19-year-old clients scaling up to 20K months with their businesses. That this is transparent. Do you know what I mean? Because we know how to scale the business. We know how to build a brand. We know how to make more money. You've had conversations with me, myself. You've had conversations with Cam. You know the value. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really talk about that enough, but that's the service.
All right, and so out of all these brands, what is it you think, well, you know, since you're the master, what is it makes a professional brand? A brand stand out from every other brand? Consistency,
identity, congruency, in the sense of, like, for example, like, I won't post a video if the font and the spacing's wrong. I'm not posting it. Like, most man will probably hear that and be like, what? Like, I'm not posting it, it's wrong. Like, if there's, it's because I've got brand guidelines, I've got a font, a typography that I stick to, a color scheme that goes with me. Like, my barber said to me this morning, he said, bro, you're always wearing this color. Like, I've become known for wearing this color. It's part of my brand. It's the color that I want to be known for. Like, everything I do is consistent overall. That's how you build a brand. Then obviously clarity, target audience, tone of voice, like communicating to your audience correctly based on who are your audience, identifying them, what's your niche, what's your USP. Once you get all of that, you combine that and then you build something out which ticks off all of those things I've just said. Doesn't cut any corners. And you know, for example, you won't see, like, look at McDonald's, one of the biggest brands, people don't realize, but everything, why? Because everything is on point. They're not going to give you your McDonald's unpacked a certain way. Look at Foot Locker when you go in, how do they pack your bag? Selfridges, Harvey Nicks, all part of their brand. That's from the time you enter their shop to the time you leave, from their receipt, from the way that they cut the customer services, how their staff look, smell, feel. It's all part of the brand. But we don't realize it because it's subconscious. So that's how you build a brand.
How many businesses have you failed? Boy. How many things have you tried and failed?
I had a cleaning company that failed. I had a PR company that failed. I mean, not necessarily failed. It weren't serving me, should I say.
So you stopped pursuing it?
Yeah, so I stopped pursuing it. Obviously, I had a concierge and events company. What else? I've been trial and erroring for years, man. Like, I guess technically I was a DJ, I was an artist, I was a music manager. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've done all these things. So yeah, I don't know how many that was, but yeah.
It was about 6.
Yeah. Like, probably more, to be honest. Yeah, proudly, man.
So out of all of them, which ones have you learned the most lessons from?
I'd say I learned the most from Rap City, but it wasn't it was. Yeah, from the. I was gonna say it wasn't from the business. It was from what everything else around it, but it was Rap City taught me the most. Yeah, Rap City.
What did it teach you?
How to scale and when to scale and knowing how to build a business and what the purpose is. I built Rap City on ego. It was a flex. It was like, look at me, I got a car rapping company. I drive the best cars and I rap my cars and I rap everyone's cars and I'm lit. Rather than, let's be the best rapping company. Do you get me? Big difference. We was never, I can honestly say I was never focused on that. Like, I mean, we're good at rapping. I want the best rappers, but my brand is going to be the best. We're going to look the best. I focus too much on branding and not enough on service. That's what I learned that.
So what, I'm just trying to get your thought process when you go through these things and you think, okay, I'm going to start pursuing it now. How do you think to yourself, like, yeah, this next one's gonna be the one? Because surely that's what you must think, right?
That's the delusion, bro. You've got to force yourself to believe things. Delusion is mind control. So I can tell myself, like, even though we're on the way down in the plane, we're gonna go up, and everyone else is like, but we're going down, but we're going up. It's delusion. It's delusion. Like, there's no other word for it. I can be delusional. It can be a great part of me. It could sometimes be false part of me. Would
you say that's the cost of being an extremist?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's bad because sometimes you can be unrealistic with things. But it's good because you can sometimes be unrealistic with things. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think the reason why every time I try again is I just think, like, yeah, man, when we go at it, we put it all in. And I think now I've learned so much, so I feel like I have an advantage of experience and a sick team around me as well.
Okay, so Trist, obviously, I'm guessing you're still planning to do this for many years. Is there a plan to pass this down to anyone? Or is it just something you're going to do and grow old into?
Yeah, Cam. Talking about
pass it down to Cam.
Cam's next up. I told you like that. Like not when I say pass it down, not in the sense of like he's next to me, innit? So it's not really passing it down. It's passing it to the right, if you want to call it that way. But
passing the baton.
Yeah, like not even just Cam, like just the people you see me with, the people that for me stayed with me. We're all going to the top. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that's where we pass it down. Like it's ours, it's not mine, it's ours. Like what we're building, bro. When I get to the level where it's like, okay, let's say Gary Vee influence, and I can walk in rooms and demand that Gary Vee price, and walk into rooms and have that Gary Vee influence. Try and know all the bros are coming as well. That's scary, bro. Like I don't know about other people's friendship groups, but for mine it's scary because I've got a valuable friendship group. So we're gonna have everything, no pun intended, but in-house. You're gonna come, you might learn, you might get coached in fitness from Jimbo. You might end up on a podcast with Jimbo and Spill the Juice. You might end up finding your niche with Cam. You might end up getting documented with S. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So there's not really someone to pass it down to. It's building it big enough so that it feels like ours. Do you know what I'm saying? So that there's enough to give around.
You mentioned team. When did you get a team? When did you build a team? When did you know it was the right time? I've
always been a team player, bro, from the beginning. Like always, from in sales. Like I started sales with a team. There was 4 of us. I'm still like that team is still my friendship group now. Like we're not as close, but still my friendship group. I've always known team because you just know. Like every one of us have got flaws. We all have flaws. So if your team's strong, and you know it was. Big shout out to one of my friends, Charlie. He brought me into high ticket sales. He used to always say like he was already rich. He was already making hella money. Like, and he was like, I don't want it to just be me though. He's like, imagine if, he used to always say, like, such a visionary. He used to be like, imagine if we all have money. Like, they could never stop us. Like, look at Rock Nation. Like, it's not just, everyone sees Hove, but he's got his 3 main brethren that all run Rock Nation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's his day one friends. I don't know if people understand how powerful that can be. I don't think that's as cool anymore, maybe. But if you, I just know the value in team. And again, like without Chloe, who's my assistant, or without Tyra, who deals with the branding, or do you know what I'm saying? Without all of these things, I would never look how I look. Can't do it all on your own.
Okay, so somebody I see you mentioned him so many times on your story, Gary Vee. What is it? And I think you also said about him how he's one of the people you studied the most, everything about him as a build brand. Tell me what you think about Gary Vee.
It's the guy, man. It's the GOAT. I dare someone try to slander Gary Vee. I'm riding out. No, Gary Vee, he's the GOAT because for me, no one connected with me like that. Like I used to sell investment fine wine, yeah? He used to sell wine. So that's where my first kind of connection point. His first sell was wine. That's what he used to do. Well, not his first sell, but that's what he used to do. He had a wine store.
Was with dad's store or something?
Yeah, his dad's store, yeah. So that was my first connection point. Then his rawness, how really he is, how he turns up, wears what he wants. Like, he's worth how much millions, but we don't even realize. He's just so passionate. He's a people's person. He's so down to earth. And he has so much passion. It's the passion for me. Like I'm an energy man. Like that's how I am. So to see someone else like, and it wasn't corny, it wasn't cheesy. He was the original cut the crap originally. Like that, he would say it how it is. I never forget one of the video clips that first got my attention. Someone said to him Monday morning, they said, give me 3 words of advice. And he said, you're gonna die. I was like, hard. And he elaborated on it and he was like, that's all you need to know. You're gonna die. So what other motivation do you need? You're going to die one day, so make the most of what you got right now. That for me, forget all them other guys, man. Grant Cardones and them dons, man. Gary V is the guy. That's the guy, man. And you're gonna see. Watch. Remember, I said this. You're gonna see Trist Taylor, Gary V, 100%.
I was about to say, have you met him yet?
No, I ain't met him yet, but
One phone call away.
I was just about to say, I definitely am one phone call away, as in like a mutual friend with him away, couple mutual friends away. And eventually all these things will come to fruition, man. Like the time's got to be right as well. Like sometimes we want things prematurely. I'm not. Let me do another year of work and then we'll start thinking about that. Because I could make those plays now. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, you know when Khaled's like, listen, man, I can drop off another one at any point. Like, I could make a lot of those plays now, but the reach might not. Like, I want the reach to be a bit more powerful. When I grab your shoulder, I want you to just, yo, my man, shout at me rather than, yeah, I think about it, I'll get back to you. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be more powerful.
I've got a personal question for you.
Tell me.
A lot of people struggle to answer it, so I don't know how you react.
Go on.
What's 7 things you can't live without?
My phone.
Are you addicted to it? Or is
Yeah,
it just straight
I'm addicted to my phone, but not socially. My phone is. I was saying this, I think, to Esther the other day, like, because I came up in high ticket sales, everything was based on the phone. For me, every bit I've made of money I've made has been through a phone. So when man ain't online, it frustrates me. This is where the money's made. How do we make? Not every career, I guess, but for me, it's the phone. So yes, I'm addicted to the phone because it's the best way. It's everything. Without the phone, I'm lost. Do you know what I mean? Seven's hard.
That's one.
That I can't live without. Music, 100%.
Who's your favorite artist?
Nipsey, Meek.
Do you actually have a music track yet?
What do you mean?
Have you made a song?
I made hella songs back in the day.
Can we find them?
No. Don't worry about all of that, man. Chill out, man. Don't worry about all of that.
Play down the intros
That's
and
all
trailer.
10 years ago and stuff. Don't worry about all of that.
I'm going to search them now.
We'll find it.
Nipsey, Meek, obviously UK-wise.
What was your second?
Oh, you're talking about
Music.
TE, UK.
Music.
Oh, UK, yeah. TED Ness, UK-wise. Who else I listen to UK? Yeah, like, there's a lot of sick artists in it, but like who I actually would go check for, yeah, would probably only be really him and I don't know, a couple others. But I'm not really crazy about the UK artists like that. I love when they win. I love them winning, but their music, I'm not like going mad for their music. So what was that? Music, phone, obviously food. Can't live without food.
Yeah.
He's the first one to say that. You know?
Family, can't live without my family. Can't live without my brethrens as well. Like I think that's a huge part. What's that? 5?
5. Yeah.
Educational sources. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't learn. I'd be done out. Like I'd have to learn somehow, which I guess is kind of like internet content.
Would you say a lot of your education is through self-education?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, all of it. Yeah, it's all through. Like obviously I learned a lot in school and stuff, but I'm an experienced man. I've experienced. I learn from my experiences, innit? Last one. What can't I live without? I don't know. You know.
I heard you talking to Dubai about the culture. How you wish the culture was down there.
Yard food. Yeah, man. Can't live without a yard food. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, yard food. Can't live without yard food. Yeah, man. That's mine.
All right, last one I got for you, Tris. Tonality.
Yeah, I hear this a lot.
The way you speak, and I feel like I kind of see where you're coming from, but from the moment you come in here to now, at the end of the day, you've also you've been affirmative, you've been clear and direct. Tell me about tonality.
Yeah, it's the body language you can't see. So like, for example, I like to always come and lift up a room because I hate I hate low energy. That's why like the bros and them are sleeping and that. Like, I'm not on the low energy thing. Like I'm a high powered vehicle, and it comes out in my tonality. And also it lets people know something about you without you telling them. Like you just said, I'm affirmative, I'm firm. I know what you're getting from me is what I am without me saying it, because telling's not selling. So you are able to say, my man knows what he wants. I believe in him because of how I spoke about it. So yeah, I mean, tonality for me is one of the biggest things. Definitely a massive part of sales. And it's just huge in regards to someone is not going to be able to know who you are just from you telling them. But if you have a certain tonality, they'll pick up on it. So it's a subconscious effect, I'd say.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Trist.
My brothers, come on, man. CEO of UCAST, we're out here.
If I could ask you for a favor, yeah?
Talk to me.
Can you tell them to subscribe?
Make sure you subscribe to CEO of UCAST, man. Cut the crap, man. We're talking about we're endorsing them. Trist Taylor said so. Cut the crap, man.
Perfect. Thank you, Trist.
Come on, bro.
Thanks for the fun, man.
No problem.